who knows what may happen in this world? We only can control what we can control. So at this point, I want to really focus on cryptocurrencies that are disrupting trillion-dollar markets. It's really hard to be bullish on a project, right, that's ushering a new age and disrupting the market that has already been proven, right? Today's project I want to talk about is Zebec, ZBCN. This project specifically is disrupting a 200 $300 trillion market, which is the payroll market, right? So no matter how you're getting paid, whether you're working a 9 to 5, whether you're a gig worker, whether you're businesses, whether you work for somebody that's overseas, right? This project ZBCN is working to provide a solution within that market. Speed, transaction fees, really saving you money and giving people in the future an opportunity to get paid daily, right? I know a lot of companies pay every 2 weeks. So now with all of these new products coming out, specifically driven by AI, I can see a world where people will be making money daily. Now, how you manage your money is on you, but I think that Zebec itself is providing an opportunity, and also it's a depend project because they have a device, right? So again, they plan on putting that device in universities, right? And awarding people, whether that be the native token Zebec or USDC, allowing people to earn a passive income. So then you got two POIs that really make, in my opinion, this project a very bullish project. Not to add, they have partnerships with a plethora of different billion-dollar companies: Circle, Stellar, MasterCard, Chainlink, Ondo Finance, XRP allegedly, and a few others. And again, let me know what you think about Zebec. The funny thing is, right, you can literally go across the Twitter page and just find so much alpha on this project. A great post here by W7Fed. It says Zebec replaces part of the traditional payroll and business payment system. It could realistically capture 0.2 to 0.1%. That's all it got. It don't even got to capture 1% for people to make boatloads of money with this project specifically, because again, it's a crossroad between a utility that's being utilized daily, by the minute, by the hour, and blockchain. So you can't lose, right? That translates to about 40 billion to 350 billion a year in volume. Now, of course, things happen, things can change, right? But as was posted in the video, just to keep it realistic, Zebec itself is calling the payroll market an $11 trillion market. You got some people in the comments saying it's a 200 trillion market. Regardless, even if Zebec is able to capture a percentage of that market, we won as investors. Again, multiple, if not partnerships, collaborations with big projects within the space like XRP. So I do challenge anybody who are interested into something like ZBCN, right? All you got to do is just kind of type in the ticker on Twitter. I like to do this and just go through some of the alpha that you see on the page, right? Some of the partnerships, the new exchanges, right? Okay, it's a project that's embedded in DeepIn, AI, all type of different narratives. It's on one of the biggest chains and ecosystems in the crypto world, which is Solana. So we know if Solana has substantial success, something like Zebec could do well, because it has that community aspect to it, similar to like we see for memes, but a real freaking utility. And that's what you want. You want cryptocurrency projects that have delusional communities but real use case in everyday utility. So guys, like I said, go do your research. There's a lot of things happening behind the scenes with Ripple, but there's so many YouTubers talking about it. I don't really specifically have to talk about it. Check out some of my other videos where I go in depth about the utility and use case. Now, I know why you came here. You came here for the charts. Zebec looks really good on the 3-day. We got a stock RSI cross RSI. A little bit of a divergence there, right? Stock RSI looks like it wants to gain momentum, but we do have a little bit of loss. Look at a little bit of loss of a downtrend, should I say, of the RSI, and even the MACD is looking to cross bearish on the 3-day. But I cannot ignore that this potential bull flag looks really good. Of course, this thing can break down and retest here the 21-day EMA or it can break to the upside, right? And continue the next leg up. Taking a look at ZBCN from a weekly standpoint, I really like that the ultimate RSI technically is still bullish, as Zebec looks to hold that support. I wouldn't be surprised if it does come back down to retest maybe 3.2 or 2.6, depending on the state of the market. There's been news that Iran and Israel could start attacking each other again, so the market could get beat up a little bit more. But I want to kind of focus you guys and give you guys a example of my focus on how I plan on and have planned on building my portfolio in the midst of this turmoil, right? Focusing on projects that I know specifically disrupt trillion-dollar markets, right? Because one thing we can't ignore is that everything is moving to the blockchain. So since we know everything is moving into the blockchain and AI is being integrated into a lot of these platforms and just everyday life, it makes sense if you're invested in the crypto where everything is down 50 to 70% to find stuff that will be used on a day-to-day basis, or could potentially be used on a day-to-day basis, what bigger than a project that's focusing on payroll and POS. So with that being said, I really am bullish on the chart here. It looks really nice, right? These corrections and these retracements are bullish because it allows new buyers who watch these videos an opportunity to find those points. But we can't just focus here on the ultimate RSI. I want to, throw in a couple other indicators here on the weekly. Let's check out my RSI script here, and you can see look like we're getting a little bit of turn here of the stock RSI, so it's not quite bullish yet. But again, I'm not against, after a major run like this, a pullback, because not only can we add to our bags, but people who did buy at the top can bring down their averages, which is only fair for everybody involved. I also like to check out the health score of the people that's actually buying this. I call this script that I created the retail capital strength script, and you can see the strength score here is sitting here at 100, right? The ADX score is 41.6 and the RSI is above 60, so things look good. Also here on our retail savings strength score, people are buying this, they're buying ZBCN, they're buying the dip, right? This is positive, right? In fact, what it has to be in some case, I believe, institutions or smart money, because we know that retail just isn't here in crypto. Last but not least, I just want to know on the weekly if those Bollinger Bands are starting to tighten up. So yeah, we could get further downside, because you gotta understand Zebec is an extended it has had an extended run compared to some others. Like, it really moved, and would love to check those excuse me, I put the Bollinger Bands back on, but I was looking for the bull market bands here as well, to get those bull market support bands, just to see where that support is. So if we do have a correction on the weekly, I can have a good idea of where that support may come in. So right around, like I said, right around that 2.5 level is where you got those bull market bands. So we're in the 3/8. This thing went at one point to the 6/6s, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if this trend to the downside does come to retest some of these key moving averages. But I also wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being a bull flag and bounces to the upside, especially if the entire cryptocurrency market, looking at the total 3, flips bullish. We still are headed into a resistance here at this 21-day EMA on the total 3. But if we get peace deal or Fed cut, we can easily see altcoins explode. In fact, altcoins in a way have been suppressed by the news, even though the market has been showing buku strength. So guys, that's what I'm actually seeing. The synopsis, or what the summary, should I say, or what I'm saying here, is a little bit of chop. Pay attention to the macro. Pay attention to Solana as well. Solana is, ZBCN is a sole token, so you want to, even though it is listed on exchanges, which is a good thing, I also like to pay attention to the ecosystem that it spawned from, right? Which is Solana. Which again, Solana hasn't given us that ultimate RSI cross either. In this, let's check the Sol BTC, giving us an idea of how Solana is performing against BTC. So still haven't had that ultimate RSI cross. So lots of stuff could happen to the upside if we get bullish news indicators or anything that that's great for the macro, right? Because at the end of the day, the M2 is exploding, and at some point that liquidity will rotate into altcoins, and of course the stronger altcoins. It's your boy Crypto Millie. Let me know what you think about ZBCN. What's your favorite partnership with Zebec? I would love to know. But comment, engage with the videos, guys, and I'll continue to give you updates from a TA perspective. It's your boy Crypto Millie. I'll see you in the next one.